We are on Fremont Street in Las Vegas, Nevada. Here to find out what people think about Area 51. You got time to ask an interview question? No. No? Okay, love you. Gotta walk through the metal detector. What? I don't think that works very well. Ma'am, do you have a minute? You got a minute? No. Do you have a minute for me? Are you from Nevada? No. Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, you guys got a minute? You guys got a minute? No. 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 No one's got a minute.
I don't know nothing about it.
It's all good. He kind of wanted to. Can I have a minute of your time?
Maybe.
Yes? I was wondering if you have any comments about the aliens.
It's all fucking real.
Yep.
They're trying to fuck us, and we're all fucked.
We're all fucked.
They're admitting it to us to let us feel like we're in control, but we're not.
We're not. No.
We're both wearing masks, so, like, how do we know who you are?
They got all the good-ass weed on Area 51.
People are very intoxicated. Sir, do you have any comments about Area 51?
It's fucking lit!
Let's raid that bitch. I mean, they hiding shit. Why not?
Because if you really think about it, they take in these things from out the earth and they abuse them.
That's good. Huh? Shit, y'all are getting the best fucking information. I'm halfway drunk.
American strange.
I don't know if it's machines, cloning going on, aliens. There's something they hiding, robots that don't want us to know to the future. But you know, they're hiding stuff, the government. I said that.
Do you ladies believe in aliens?
I believe our feet hurt, bitch.
Well, they look good. They're supposed to hurt.
The aliens.
Beauty is pain.
The aliens invented that shit. It was not the patriarchy.
It wasn't the patriarchy. It was the aliens.
Damn. Give me better shoes, bitch, because I have this technology.
They got it.
I can say this. If alien technology existed, my feet would not hurt this bad, and my sister would not hate me this much. It's all I can say. I mean,
So sorry. I know this is a hard time for you.
it is. It is. Especially since it's my sister's birthday, and she's a firm alien believer. That's her right there. She's running away. Oh my God, oh my God!
Girl, get out of here, beautiful. I love you. Thank you. I hope she makes it home safe. She was quite lovely in her beautiful Versace gown.
What's your name? My name is Clayton. I've been doing tours to Area 51 for a little over 5 years now. This is the 4th tour I've done in the last week, actually. I did Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, and today, so every other day I've done it. But this is where they fly out to Area 51 every day. They also fly out to the test site. There's a terminal right here. They have their own terminal. Sometimes they take off from here too. This one right here, they still deny. If you work at Area 51, you have to sign a government contract and you can't even tell your family specifically where you work. So these guys won't tell you where they're flying out to, but that's what they are. If you get arrested on Area 51, you cross the line, it could be a federal offense, and they're not really going to shoot unless you don't stop. If you don't stop, any base, they'll shoot you. But what's funny, if you go to the gate sometimes, they'll actually chase you away, and I'm like, that's a show. So you don't mess around, but you don't see anything either. But what they do is they hold you after the line, and then the sheriff comes, and the sheriff takes a picture of you, and then they take you off and interrogate you. So this one sheriff's been on the Area 51 base, and I was asking him, and he said one time they put him in a blindfold, and they drove him over the line, and he was counting in his head how many miles. Well, the closest gate to the base is 15 miles still, because he said that like 5 miles in, there's another gate they open, and you can hear it being open, and then there's another 5 miles, there's another gate, and then there's Area 51. And he said that he was driven out to another area, though, because they own hours of land, and he doesn't know where that was at all, because he said it was miles, but there was a barracks in that area for people that work there, too.
So was it Donna I talked to on the phone?
Yeah.
Donna told me that actually one time one of the guides wasn't paying attention. He crashed straight through the gate.
Well, yeah, it's actually on YouTube too if you look it up.
Okay.
Well, they have like a news report. It's right before I started, and I always joke I took that guy's job. But what happened to those guys is they interrogate them. They actually zip tied them. But because we have a camera in there, they turned it over to the government, and the government looked at it and knew that they weren't part of it. It was the driver, so they didn't have to pay it. But it can be anywhere from like $600,000 fine. And I've heard all kinds of stories where one guy told me he went over there with like a Frisbee, and he acted like, oops, the Frisbee went over the line. So he goes over the line to get it, comes back and moons them. And I guess they got mad at that, so they put him in the back of a truck, and they held him there for like 72 hours without just water, just a water bottle. They don't even have to start doing the legal part of it for 72 hours. Okay. So, it's not something to mess with. Most people that move to Vegas, most of the ones I talk to see things out here in the desert, after hearing stories, most of them are on the believing scale.
I saw a UFO before.
Did you really?
Up
In
close.
here?
Huh?
In Nevada?
Yeah. On my birthday, it scared the shit out of me.
What did it look like?
It was a big ass triangle. All of a sudden, you see these lights coming at us. It's like green, blue, red, purple, and they're real pretty. And so you see them right here. Then all of a sudden, they're like right here. Then all of a sudden, you never see it move, but it kept getting closer, right? So I'm like, man, what the fuck is that? And my wife's like, you see that shit? And I'm like, you see that shit too, right? I'm like, yeah. So it gets about 200 yards out. And it, all of a sudden, you see the colors. It's just like, it looks like a big ass disc. And it's spinning. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So all the colors all of a sudden disappear, stop spinning, and it's a big ass perfect triangle with 3 white pulsating lights on each tip. Flew over my car at 5 miles per hour, like 2 light poles high in the sky. It looked like the Luxor flew over my shit. Bro, I was like, what the fuck? So I'm butt naked, right? In my mind, I'm thinking, if I get abducted, I'm already fucked because like I'm already naked. They ain't gonna have no fucking struggle, no nothing. They gonna just hit me with the probe. I'm like, ah! I was not trying to get beamed up. So yeah, man, I got up out of there. I just hopped in the front seat.
You know, if you guys want to film aliens, go to Fremont tonight. That's where you need to go.
I think it's combustion. It's combustion. There's something above them, above the higher power.
Hey, hell yeah, brother.
I've seen them. You've seen them. Where have you seen them?
Everywhere.
And it's going in a direct square over and over again in the video, and it's only like 10 feet above him. And I don't know anything natural or anything man-made that is like that on the planet.
There's also some in the atmosphere, possibly.
Are you one with the universe?
So 2 weeks ago on a Monday, we were driving down ET Highway that we're going to be on, and we see a stealth bomber in the air. And I've seen him before, but I have never seen him that close near Area 51 ever, because usually by Area 51, if you hear something, you'll hear it. 2 people took video, and they must have gotten 5 minutes worth of it. It was on a phone, so they got multiple video. When I asked for the video to be sent to me later, hey, can you send that to me? It wasn't on it. You could hear it, but you couldn't see the plane. And so I texted him. I said, hey, do you have a better video? And she looked at it. She said, oh, OMG, none of them have the stealth on it. Now, when I looked it up later, that stealth plane is actually something they haven't released yet. They're working on it. And I forget the number on it, but it's the one they're working on right now. Now, after that, we go to the front gate, and people will call it the back gate. Usually there's a guard. There's always a guard there, but there's never anything other than that. There was a stealth helicopter that flew over above us. It was so close that I could see the pilot, and you could grab the helicopter. So it goes over across us, kind of like scares us, goes off and lands. And I'm thinking, oh no, we did something wrong, because that's what they do. A lot of times those planes will drop and then they'll arrest you. And I'm like, what did we do? So I know they can hear us there, so I'm talking to them. I'm like, hey, this is a dumb tour. There's nothing going on. Like, if we didn't see anything. So the guy gets back in the helicopter and does it again, because we climb up this little hill and he does it again. So I have my camera, the 2 other people have a camera. We probably got 25 videos a piece on this helicopter. Nothing recorded. Nothing was in it. So of the 25 videos that we took, none of them had it up close, even though it was like within reach of touching.
Thanks for the turn signal, Clayton. Really glad I knew you're turning.
So I do believe that they can affect your phone. The guy last time on tour, 2 days ago, he actually has a blocker on his phone, a tracker. And when we were at Area 51, his phone tried to be tracked 4 different times. Like, it literally just showed a black screen. He couldn't track who was trying to get into his phone. So even when we go today, they'll be hacking into your phone. They'll be looking into it. And I 100% believe that.
I like enigmas. I like people who don't make any fucking sense. That's my deal.
People that believe in aliens believe that they're reverse engineering alien technology, and that's why our technology has gone so fast. Even if you don't believe in aliens, why is our technology moving that fast? At this point, we're so used to it that we just kind of throw it away when we get new technology. Oh, it's just a new thing. If you look at the history of mankind, for hundreds of years, there's one development, and it's not even that big of a development. So even if it's not aliens, what was that spark 100 years ago? You guys know the HyperLoop, Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Okay, so the original part of it was started over here. I mean, that's what that piping is in the distance, which is supposed to be like 30 minutes to get in LA in that thing. I've been out here for quite a while. Love doing this tour. It's an intimate tour. It's a desert tour. But also I love talking about the whole subject. I love getting into talking about aliens and time travel and whatever, because Area 51, if you mention anything like that, any kind of conspiracy, Area 51's tied to it. So this is, any other tour, if I talk about it, they'll look at me like I'm crazy. So I love doing this tour. And hearing personal stories, you get a wide range of people. You get people that are skeptics and come on the tour to disprove it. You have people that are just doing it because they don't have anything else that day to do. But I've also had people that said they've actually made contact and been abducted. If I bring that up to other groups, they laugh about it, but I don't. I don't make fun of that stuff. There's been multiple studies of people that have been abducted and sightings, studies done by some pretty predominant psychologists. The first thing they do is they put those people under and they question them, and they see where their mental capacity is and if they are mentally stable, and they always pass. Those people aren't crazy. There's too much of it. And so what I love about this tour is you get to hear new stories of that stuff that they may have never told anybody else in their life. If you look up any abduction cases, they're all very similar. They see an alien creature that looks very human-like but with big eyes. They can't move, they feel manipulated. Now, if you look at the history of that kind of stuff, what the government always tells you is one person, it's isolated event. Now, it usually happens multiple times over many, many years, and it usually is multiple people reporting it. And the big cases like Travis Walton, any of those people that have reported this stuff over the years, usually there's multiple people reporting it at one time too. It's not just one person. And then the other thing is they're usually by a military base. I mean, that is very, very common. The thing that they like to push out there in the media is that it happened in the middle of nowhere. Well, Area 51's in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, they're in the middle of nowhere, but they're close to a military base. So my personal belief is, even if it's not aliens, the government is doing something that is affecting these people, making them see something that they think is very real, and they're covering that up. So it may not be aliens, but the government is doing something to affect people, and they're covering it up. I do believe the government's 100% covering it up. But I've told other little small cases like that too. One gentleman was on tour. What he told me was that the last thing his dad ever told him, the last words he spoke to him is, "Aliens are real. I worked at Area 51 and met one." And that's what he told him. So he did this tour because of that.
Clayton, what if people told you about the different types of aliens? You were talking about that. Could you walk us through the mythology a little bit?
There's thousands. Like, we've had contact for them way before 1947, way before Roswell. But usually, generally, there's about 5 or 6 that people bring up. There's the grays, and you have the tall grays and the small grays. And there is a belief, I believe, so don't quote me on this one, but I believe it's the small grays are in charge of the tall grays, and the tall grays are the ones that are doing abductions and experiments on people. Either way, one of those is in control and the other one isn't. The other thing, you have the tall whites. They look like kind of tall Nordics or Swedish people, but they're like 8 feet tall. You also have the lizard people, and those are the ones that are running all of the world's governments. They're part of the Illuminati. So basically every one of our presidents, no matter what side you're on, they've all been lizard people at some point. So you're throwing away your vote because you're voting for a lizard person either way. I think what they show in movies a lot are the reptiles, because there's always that cheesy, like almost cliche where they're like, oh, we can't find the alien, and the guy lowers his glasses and you see the eyes click sideways, or a lizard tongue or something. I always look for that on tour, but I don't really see it. So one guy on tour, he actually puts people under, and he's a full-on believer, and he tries to get repressed memories of it, and he's like, you're a prime candidate for this, and I'm like, I'm good, man, because if I'm forgetting something, there's a reason I don't want to know. But every once in a while I do have somebody that says they work at the Pentagon or something, and they ask me a lot of questions, so I don't think so, but every once in a while I'm like, are you questioning me for your own, or like, what are you asking me for? Because if I get the truth out at all, it is accidental, man.
Got secret shoppers.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I wish I did. Even what we're going to see today, I'm going to drive you to an area with petroglyphs. The petroglyphs I've seen, it's disappointing we can't see them anymore, but they're a protected Native American site now. The last couple times we went there about 2 years ago, people were starting to draw beside it, so the government shut it off for everybody actually, and you get a major fine on it. Those are awesome petroglyphs, but what we're going to see today, this is going to be the first time I see it too, so it's going to be a discovery for me as well. So Tonopah, though, I think it was 60s, early 60s, they had a crash landing of an alien ship, where I think it was like 17, don't quote me on that either, but it was like 16 or 17 alien bodies. It's supposed to be the biggest event of actual alien bodies that were in it, and that was in Tonopah, and people that are alive today that were alive then swear by it. Kingman, Arizona has like multiple sightings and crash landings in its own right. So they only bring up certain ones, but if you start talking to people here and you start looking it up, there's multiple cities that have that out here. I'm not sure why they are always coming here, but this area has a ton of it.
Clayton, I want to put you on the spot for a second.
Yeah.
Pretend I'm a 15-year-old who's never heard of Roswell or the Roswell crash.
So 1947, Roswell happens. And what it is there was a farmer that went onto his land and saw what he believed to be a saucer and with alien bodies. But really the whole city saw something the night before. They saw a saucer-shaped, lighted up craft in the sky, and multiple people reported it. The next day in the paper, it actually was reported as fact. They had to go back and retract it. They didn't say it was a sighting that somebody had reported. They all saw it. What people believe happened was there was an alien body. So people that believe in aliens believe there was at least one body, maybe multiple alien bodies. Basically, the government sees these alien bodies, they take it into hiding, they start doing experiments on it, they start looking at the craft. In the dead of night, they took that body and this craft to an undisclosed location in the desert where nobody would ever find it, and that was supposedly Area 51. But that's Roswell in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it, a lot more to that.
That's excellent, Clayton. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. My bad. It's right here. No, that was me. I haven't gotten here because it's been... They honking at it.
Where are we now?
Trying to kill you. No, because this is a Delamar Dry Lake Bed, or Delamar. I actually haven't gone this in a while because it's been snowed. And you don't want to drive on this because it's dirt road, and dirt, it actually floods. So this is going to take us a minute to get out of this, but what this is a dry lake bed. The reason why I usually do this one on tour is because Area 51 is built on a dry lake bed, so this shows you what it's kind of built on. But the government actually uses this to...
It's kind of crazy. I can't see him. There he is.
So
the first thing I noticed
was the fog only on the road right in front of me.
Oh, sorry. Just making sure he's okay back there.
Noticed a semi wanting to kill us because...
I just looked back and it's,
This thing is cruising.
There's been a couple landings here by things like Chuck Yeager when he was trying to break the sound barrier. Actually landed on this as an emergency one time. Also, when they were doing all the space shuttle stuff, there were a couple space shuttle missions where they actually landed on this. We sometimes are told to get out of here because they're going to do something on it. You can camp here and it's public, but there was one time where they actually did tell us to leave. They said, get off of this. Now, I'm going to show you a couple petroglyphs if you're able to see it today, but what sucks is in this area, up until 2 years ago, there's an area that has a ton of petroglyphs over here, and they are alien in shape. There's several of them that look like almost like R2-D2 or like robots. There's one that looks like a 50s or 60s UFO. I mean, who knows what they're drawing? Those are 3,000 years old or more. They could be 3,000, 5,000 years old. They're from a group of Native Americans who died off. There was a large group of Native Americans in the West Coast called the Anasazi, and some scientists believe that they turned into like the Southern Paiutes and other Native Americans in the area, but most people believe that they just died off for whatever reason. It could have been drought, but what's weird is there are no bodies. There's no graves. These people just ceased to exist. So there are people that believe that maybe they were alien themselves and maybe they went back. But we can't see those today because that's a protected site. I respect that stuff, and also we can get a heavy fine. I could lose my job.
Ancient fucking writings.
The alien poop right
It's
there.
fresh. It's
hey,
still
you guys
warm.
want to taste it? It tastes good too. No, I'm just
Aliens.
Where are they going?
Oh, Chris is insane. Today, we're gonna ask these lovely ladies over here if they've seen any aliens. Hi. Hello. It's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to ask you about aliens. You don't have to run. I just want to talk to you about aliens. Guys, get back here. Come on. Guys, just really quick. Just really quick. Have you seen any UFOs? Have you seen any flying saucers? Come on. Guys. Everyone's running from the truth here. We can never get a real interview. I don't know why they wouldn't talk to us. I think they're skinwalkers, possibly. Yeah. like me and work for the CIA because I work for the CIA and I'm QAnon. That's me. I'm just, baiting you. I got nothing. What do you think, Susie?
Cows are very cute. I think I want to go pick them up and take them home with me.
Would you ride one if you could get closer?
I don't think they want to be ridden, but I want to go pet them. 'Cause they're little babies.
Don't touch it, Chris.
Yeah, don't touch it, but what are we looking at exactly? Like
This rock has a coating on it.
Yeah.
And the original color of all rock out here, most of it is white or light in color.
Yeah.
The different elements layer on it.
Yeah.
So they would have carved into it, and it's 3,000, 5,000 years old. Most people mistake them for what they have at the, in Egypt, but those are painted. These are carved. And your rock here actually has multicolors on it. Most rock out here does. Most of it, if you scrape everything off the surface, it's actually a light colored rock. You see red out here a lot. You see other colors out here. What that is coating that has been layered on it on different metals and minerals. This one is called desert varnish on here, and this is what they carve into a lot. So 3,000 years ago, there's a Native American tribe that basically covered the whole West Coast, all the way up to Idaho, up to northern parts of Mexico. And if you go to any sacred ancient site out here, a lot of those sites are Anasazi is what that group was. And 3,000 years ago, they just disappeared off the planet. And they haven't found even graves for them. They haven't found anything about them. All of a sudden, they were in abundance and then they were gone. This one, there are more elaborate ones than this, but this, to me, just kind of looking at it, we don't know for sure what they're drawing. But to me, this looks like a map. It looks like there's water. Maybe this looks like maybe a Joshua tree.
That's Kentucky.
You know what I mean? That's Kentucky. Yeah. This one, whatever it is, that's Area 51. That's the gate. So it's just telling you, where they are. And, they didn't live here. They lived by Alamo, which we were just at, where the water is.
Yep.
They came here to hunt. They didn't have any way of communicating, so this is them saying this is what we saw, or just reminding themselves even, and the next time they came over, it was there.
Like an old school tour guide. Like
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it's old school. They didn't have phones. They didn't have internet, so that's their way of communicating.
Go to that big rock.
Yeah, there's no YouTube.
Unfortunately. Thank you so much for showing me all about the petroglyphs, the old school map, Virginia, Boston, all that kind of cool stuff. Bob Lazar's up there too.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
think so.
I don't know how
think
Bob.
Actually, Bob Lazar probably wrote these actually.
3,000 years ago.
He might be Anasazi actually. Not sure.
Are any of these petroglyphs up here?
They kind of disappear right here, but what the heck? What is that? Who is that? Do you guys know?
That.
That's a legit fight.
Yeah.
FEDS.